for you to win in life, your opinion must be honored above all else. That is, your opinion must matter more than the opinion of others. I would like to start by saying what we all know, obviously. Science has proved that the reason 90% of the people don't do what they intend to do or what they would like to do is just because they are afraid of what others will say or think about it. I think I'm going to ask you people to talk on this topic because it's such a big pressure on people. Even if you all begin to think now, have there been instances in your life or in your lives when you will not do something because of what others will think? I even heard that some people will not come to watch my live broadcast because of what others will think. And I heard that some people will not even share the link because of what others will think or will say. Some people will be afraid of even letting other people know that, you know, they are listening to another pastor. I even heard that, in fact, there are some people who belong to some churches who will never write their books because, you know, the pastor might not be happy that they are writing their own book or that they are recording their own messages. So the fear of public opinion and the fear of what others think or the fear of what others might think has held a lot of people back from their destiny and from the very things that they're supposed to be doing in their lives. And I want you to examine yourself and think about it. How strong is that pressure? The pressure of what about if people will not understand me? What about if people will misunderstand what I meant? What about if they will criticize me? What about if they will attack me? What about my family? What would my family think if I go to that church? What would my family think if I do that thing? What would my family think if I do this video? Like, for example, some of you know T.Y. Moore. She's doing video. So some of the video that she was doing, I heard that some people are saying, you are a hero. You are so bold for doing this video. Because she's sharing her life stories and using it to touch people. The same thing with Elizabeth Ali. And people are saying, wow, you people are just unbelievable. I would have liked to do the same thing. We would have liked to do the same thing. But we cannot because what my parents say or what would my relatives say or people, I don't want my people to hear that this has happened in my life or not. Or my church members, people will think I've always been a good Christian. If I say this now, people will now know what had happened in my life. So a lot of things that we are supposed to have been doing in our lives, we cannot do because we are afraid of other people's opinion. We are afraid of public opinion. We are afraid of what people will say or what people will think and all that. So, you know, it's a fact. It's a fact. Actually, the statistics, I think, is 75%. That 75% of all people in the world will not do one thing or the other just because of the fear of public opinion. So 75% of people in the world will rather hold back from doing what they want to do because of what everybody is thinking. So that's a big problem. And that means that a lot of us that are listening right now, we are also having that problem. That the fear of public opinion paralyzes people. The fear of public opinion makes people to withdraw from their intentions, from their goals, from their purposes. So 75% of people in the world will not attain or achieve their life goal or life calling because of people's opinion. Is that a reality, guys? What do people think about that? Does that really happen? Or is this just a scientific thing? Although I know by myself too that until you get to that place where you don't care for people's opinion, you will not attain anything in life.
Hi everyone, this is Caroline. So right now I'm doing a YouTube platform right now, and but I wanted to do a YouTube platform since I was in college. So for about 4 years now I've wanted to do it, and the thing that kept stopping me was, well, what will my friends say about what I have to say? Maybe I don't have good opinions. Maybe people will not think that I'm
Smart.
Yeah, smart, or they might think I'm not qualified to be saying the things that I'm saying. And I was always fearing what I was making up in my own head. It wasn't even real stuff. It was just things that I was, I was seeing in foresight, but it was imaginary foresight. It wasn't the real thing. I think fear of public opinion even stops me from asking certain people to watch my show, even now. But because I know that, okay, well, they knew me since I was in high school, or they knew me since I was in college. They're not going to listen. So, but I'm realizing that, it shouldn't matter, because it's the same product. Someone's going to know anyways that you have all this inside of you, so you might as well start now and wait for another time. But yes, public opinion is definitely something that stops people. I see it even stops people from venturing out to careers that they really want to pursue. They'll just continue making safe choices even though it's killing them, because they're afraid of what people are going to say if they go after the job that maybe isn't going to pay them as much or isn't going to give them a better title. And so they'll continue making those safe choices and find themselves in a place they don't want to be for several decades, and find out that people who were taking those risks are actually in the positions that they wanted to be. So I'm seeing now, as pastors talking, that fear of public opinion, it's imaginary. It's not even a real fear. You're fearing things that aren't happening, aren't yet to happen. You're just making up scenarios. They may never even happen. So they're scenarios just that you're making up in your mind.
Pastor, I would say that the fear of public opinion is real, because I think this is what kills most people's good intentions. Because from my own personal experience, the day I discovered my potential and I started working towards it, at one point, even my friends, they were like, "Oh, is it because you've achieved just one thing, and that makes you think you can do everything?" So the day I was asked the question, and I said, yes, if I can achieve one thing, then I think I can achieve everything. In my mind, I just knew I can do everything. So, and they were like, no, it doesn't work with everything. They were just trying to convince me. So at the end of the day, I still went ahead, even though I had enemies, but because I believe if I could achieve this, then I can achieve any other thing I want to achieve. I just need to study. I just need to just know how it works. But the pressure was just too much that at the end of the day, I ended up doing it alone. I ended up achieving it alone. But it was now the result that they were now celebrating. Forgetting that they've actually been the one discouraging, forgetting the fact that they discouraged me a lot. And also, another public opinion that I can relate with is our parents' opinion, because most of us in Africa or in Nigeria, our parents tend to tell us, "Oh, you can't, no, you don't have to do this, don't go there." They put fear in us. Because I could remember something recent happened this morning, because I already declared my intention to go for a post in my city, and I forgot I didn't tell my parents. Not because I did it intentionally, but because I know that if I should tell them, they will remind me of those areas that I was challenged. So, and I know that if I'm being reminded of these things, I might want to withdraw, or I might want to be discouraged. So I just shut my mind off there. So it was this morning, and I also saw my mom's comment late last night, and also my dad's comment very early this morning. But I could see, even in their comments, the prayer they prayed was in form of fear that, oh, okay, God will see you okay, God will see you through. Because they knew at this junction, I've already declared there was nothing they could do. So I think parents also, they play an important role in making their children, their kids, not to do the things that God actually wants them to do. So, Pastor, I would say that the fear of public opinion is real, and it's limiting even most of us that were from Africa. It's limiting us because as a Yoruba person, there is this general belief that Yorubas are very scared. That is why they are not that innovative, because they don't just want to try new things. They can't go skyscraping. They can't do anything. They can't go on adventure because of the fear that they fear their own lives more than any other thing. So they think of their own first before, and they think of people first also. What people will say. People at the end of the day, people will tell you, who sent you to do this thing? Who sent you to do that thing? You were not sent now, so you just thought it in your mind and you did it and see the repercussions. So people even tend to put this thing more in us. That is why we've been limited to the things we can achieve. We've not been able to see the greatness God has deposited in us because we tend to look around us. We tend to look at things around us, what people will say, what people will think about us, or what will be the reaction, what will be their reaction. Even some persons that have actually done some things and they failed, they tend to pass that same fear, the failure mindset, to another person around them, because they say, you said you want to do this thing, you're thinking of this, you don't just go there, don't think of it, because I did it once and it never worked. But for the fact that you did it and it never worked doesn't mean you might not have gotten how to make the thing work. But also the people that have failed us, they tend to pass this same failure, or the people that actually have this fear, they tend to pass this same fear to people. So the fear of public opinion is actually real, Pastor. Thank you for this topic, sir.
Hey everyone, it's Fisayo.
Mrs. Fisayo.
Okay. The fear of public opinion is really, something everyone battles with. I mean, it just depends on the degree, but it's just the ability to overcome it. That's how how much it will affect you in life. For me, maybe not on bigger decisions, but it was really obvious, that I really experienced it when I began to value time. I began to say no to people. I began to turn people's invitations down. Even some help I realized they could get for themselves if they really wanted it. Like they can log on to internet and, surf the internet and get the solution. Why should it be me? Because if I'm to provide that solution, it might cost me my 1 hour. But that 1 hour, I can use it to be productive. So I just give them, go to social link and, find it. So how to spend time. People demand time from us, and time is our life. And if we begin to share our life, it becomes, we're not productive. We don't maximize the use of it. And what eventually will be ours will just be very little, and we just come home tired and become useless to ourselves. So it's an area of spending time. And I really experienced this when I started saying no to people, and especially maybe invitations to maybe get together, parties, meetings that I know they're not necessarily important. My presence is not necessarily, relevant there. So I just require, pull to my shell and just spend my time for myself, to invest in myself and to be more productive. Public opinion will be like, you don't have time for us again. Why are you secluded? How is your social life? Why are you retrieving from people? You don't care? Yes, you don't care for people again. Some will even get angry, or because you know what's happening, you just simply have to just say, okay, I'm sorry, I did not have time for that. Just apologize, but you have your time to yourself. Just say sorry, but your time is still yours and use it, even though they will not be happy. But you still have to take the decision and make your own decision stand that you want to use your time to the maximum, and not just spend it for people or your events that will not yield very little results.
Yes, I'm Iriti. Good morning, everybody. Well, when it comes to public opinion, as Visaya said, we all still operate, we all still have one or two people we consider, even the strongest of us. Because I think I do well in that area. I am able to say no.
authority figures, eh?
Yes. Yes, some are authority figures, some are your friends, people you don't want to hurt, people, you wouldn't know it that you are still, you think you're strong because major decisions in your life, you take them. I have taken decisions that everybody except my husband, of course, with him. Everybody will say, but this is crazy. You can't just stand up and say you're leaving your work. You don't have any other job. And I say, I am leaving. And then you're through with something and you're like, oh, push for it, you're going to get this. And I said, no, I am not pushing, I am going this way. So I've had to overcome public opinion in several ways, but the subtle ways are still there. The ways where, for instance, as she said, someone inviting you to come somewhere, they get me when it comes to that, because I'm always like, if somebody is celebrating, you celebrate with the person. So sometimes when you really see this is not necessary, and you're not even feeling like, you now pack yourself and pack everything and just carry your gilly and everything and you're going there. So I know in that area, for instance, now, I may have to work on that, seriously, In Nigeria, yes, if you're a person of influence, sometimes you follow people to do things, you understand, because you honor them with your presence or something, but you will have to say no at some point and all that. So the subtle ways is what I will watch out for, some of which Fisaya mentioned. That you may be strong, in certain things. You may know how to say no. I will do what I want with my life. I will do what I want with my money. I will do what I want with how I raise my kids. For instance, in Nigeria, everybody will say, of your status, your children should be in private schools. All your children should be in private school. My husband and I decided we're going to put our children in public schools. From their primary schools.
What do you mean?
Private schools, because
your status.
So if you're middle class, you certain level of at least you're not in the surviving mode. They expect that your children will go to private schools, whatever you can afford, whichever level of private school you can afford, you put your children there. But we kept ours in public schools, and many people will be like, no, but public. They're always surprised, and maybe like my daughter that is in GS1, the last one now is the first one that will go to a private, school, because it was just right in front of her house and it was so beautiful, and she kept on saying, mommy please, and we just let her. She said her teachers are always like, anytime she mentioned her school, they'll go, no, and she's, surprised, but that's, a decision we make. So we're able to, but there are so many subtle ones. And just this morning, Fisaya has helped me to pick out a few of them. And I believe that, yes, public opinion is something we have to deal with, to save your time. Even sometimes, in the dining, just as she said it now, I've noticed she's disciplined in that area. Sometimes you're in the dining, you're finished eating, and you know that you came to spend 15 minutes, and somebody else is talking with you. You may not want to stand up, and you continue. Even though you came just for 15 minutes, you were doing something, you want to go back, So it's still part of public opinion, yes, because you actually came for 15 minutes to go back to what you were doing.
But you end up saying
2 hours talking. You understand? Yeah, we're in the house. You can even be saying profitable things. So it seems, because you are discussing what Pastor Sunday said, and all that, but actually looks okay, fine. But the thing is, you actually came to spend 15 minutes, in which case you will be back to what you were doing, when you were doing it. It's public opinion, because sometimes I felt, look, I should stand up now, but we're discussing, So as we just talked of the subtle ones, I will go back and watch out for the subtle ones. And I think it's that subtle ones that, those little ones that come, that one should watch out for most.
What about when it comes to major decisions in life, and people are not doing it because of public opinion? And that is the one that is more deadly. When you are not doing what you think that God wants you to do, or what you think that is right for you to do, because of what your relatives will say, because of what your family members will say, because of what friends will say. I mean, there are a lot of things that could alter our, okay, like for example, some people go to school, they go to university, and they don't want to go and do some subjects. For example, somebody was telling me, I really like to read psychology, but psychology in my country, psychology it's for the dull people. It's like for the failures. How can I go and university and read psychology? If I go and read psychology, even my parents, my family, everybody would just think something bad has happened. There is a tragedy in the house. So psychology is not one of those courses that you really want to consider as a major one. So, yeah, then you better go and read medicine. I better go and read medicine. But medicine is not what you are called to do. But you still go and do medicine because of public opinion. So some of those things are the things that people struggle with. And because that is all connected with the fear of what people think, fear of public opinion. So, but today, what I really want us to do is not to talk about the problem as such, because we all know about the problem. We know the problem is there. Now, how do we get ourselves back in place? How do we live in such a way so that we will be able to value our own opinion above the opinion of others? How do we live? What do we need to do to make sure that our opinion matters more than the opinions of others? So that's why I call this message, your opinion must be honored above all else. So for you to win in life, you must get to a place where you value your opinion more than any other person's opinion. By the way, people who really win in life, are the people who have decided to honor their own opinion and decisions more than the decisions of others. People who win in life are the people who have decided to respect their own opinion, to honor their own opinion more than the opinion of the public. So but the question is, how do you do that? How do you do that? So, and it's connected with self-esteem. So today I'm going to be talking to you and giving you concrete strategies and tips on how to respect yourself, how to increase your self-worth, how to raise your value in your own eyes, how to increase your self-esteem, how to raise your self-esteem, how to honor your words, how to honor your own life and your personality, your person, above the pressure that is coming from every other place. So let's begin. Here we go. So for you to be able to respect your opinion above the opinion of others, for you to be able to, honor yourself and your opinion, one of the things you need to do is to affirm yourself. You need to affirm your worth. And how can you affirm your worth if you don't discover your worth? Sometimes we don't take time to do this. But really, for you to be able to have an opinion that is worth it, for you to have an opinion that is that you'll be able to follow through, you need to learn to discover your worth. So, number one thing for you to do, make a list. Make a list of the qualities, the best qualities you have. Make a list of your best qualities. The things that you are proud of. For example, you could make a list that you are a Christian. You are a son of God. And as a child of God, only God's opinion matters to you above all. So you write that down. And write down all other qualities that you have connected to God. He that is in you is bigger than he that is in the world. Write down those promises. So you are not inferior to anybody. Who can separate us from the love of God? There is no condemnation for those who are in Christ. So if nobody can condemn you, why should you be worried? The Bible says that he gave us his only begotten son. What is it that he can withhold from us, that he will not give to us? So you are worthy all by yourself and God. The Bible says that he has made us the crown of creation. So you are the crown of creation. See yourself that way. The Bible says that you are made in his image and likeness. Make a list of these things and repeat them to yourself continually. So that is our most important worth. Our most important source of worth and dignity. God gives us dignity. Make a list of all these positive opinions of God about you. So if God honors you so much, and in Psalm, who is man that thou art mindful of him? God is mindful of you. That means God honors you. Can you imagine it? If God himself will honor you, if God himself will respect you, why it's a shame for you not to respect yourself. Psalm 8 from verse 4 to 9, it says, who is man that thou art mindful of him? Mindful here is talking about honor, respect. Who is man that even the writer of the song here was very surprised at the respect and honor that God was paying to man, and he couldn't believe it. He saw a vision. I think that's what happened. He saw a vision of how God was honoring man and mindful of man. And I was thinking, God, you can't be. I mean, you are God. You can't lower yourself to the extent of honoring man. So God honors you. God is mindful of you. And he said, who is the Son of Man that thou visited him? So God visits you. He hears your prayers. He listens to you. Can you imagine? Even men sometimes, big men don't listen to small men. Even some parents don't listen to their children because they are too small. They think they are too big for that. But that's why even this psalmist was very surprised that who is man that you will be listening to him? That you will be mindful of him, you will even visit him. Like as I'm here right now, there are some people I don't visit, even if they are members of my church. I don't even know where they live. I don't even visit everybody. But God visits everybody. Like, for example, I'm just thinking now of some people in my church who are homeless or drug addicts, who will not even have the boldness to invite me. But even they, God visits them. Have you ever seen people who live in the street? Those people who are drunk and who are drunkards and who are drunk and just living this totally hopeless and smelling, and they don't even have a home. Can you believe that God will visit them? God honors them as much as he honors me or any other person. God honors them so strongly that he thinks they are important enough. He thinks their opinions are important enough that God will even listen to their opinion and go and visit them. So you should look and see all these things that God has said about you to get your worth, to affirm your worth. So affirm your worth based on the word of God. The Bible says that we have been, you have been made to be over all of creation, just a little bit beyond, a little bit, lower than the angels. Just a little bit lower than the angels. You are not inferior to anybody. You are not worse than anyone. So that should give you your self-esteem, your self-worth. He says, thou art giving him, man, every one of us, each and every one of us. You have given him dominion over the works of your hands. Thou art put all things under his feet. So all these things are supposed to affirm your worth. So by the time you don't just know these things in your head, but when you affirm yourself in them, then you know that you don't have to be giving up your opinion for the opinion of others. The Bible says you are the apple of his eyes. For the woman, the Bible says that you are this co-heir of inheritance. You are here with God. That means you are a princess of God. For the men, you are a prince of God. You are God's prince, God's princess. So, you need to just affirm your worth, your dignity, based upon the word of God. So that is one way for us to affirm our dignity and who we are. So the word of God, you make a list of who you are in God. Make a list of your worth, your blessings, and starting from God and from what God has done for you. So another thing, apart from your relationship with God and your worth based on God's word, you could also make a list of your value, of who you are, of the other things that are good in your life. Maybe you are a woman and you like that. Maybe you are a man and you like that. Maybe you are a father. Maybe you are a son. Maybe you are a daughter. Maybe you are a wife. Maybe whatever it is in your life that you like and that you appreciate, write it down. Write those things down. And respect yourself for them. Maybe you like the fact that you are a Christian. Write it down. Maybe you like your family. You are proud of the fact that you are a graduate or you went to school. Write it down. Maybe you have some abilities, some skills. Write them down and begin to meditate more on the values and the worth that you have. When you put more emphasis on your pluses and on your dignity more than on your minuses, then you begin to gain back your self-worth. Because, like I said, only people who have respect for themselves, only people who honor the only people who have respect for themselves will be able to honor their own words. And if you are not able to honor your worth, you will not be able to pursue your dream. You will not be able to do what you need to do. You will not be able to pursue your dreams. You will not be able to exalt your opinion above that of others. So you need to be able to put your opinion above the opinion of others for you to be able to pursue your dream. Remember the statistic again. Statistics, 75% of people don't become who they are supposed to become in life. They don't pursue their dreams. They don't do what they know to be right to do because they are afraid of public opinion. Because they are afraid of public opinion. The fear of public opinion, the fear of the opinion of authority figures or people like that have stopped a lot of people from becoming who God wants them to be, from realizing their dreams. So make a list of the things that you are proud of. It's called find a point of pride in your life. Look for those points of pride and be proud of them and write them down and look at them. Refer back to them and think less of what other people are thinking. Think less of what other people are saying. So once you have had the list, the next thing you're supposed to do, you have the list of the scriptures, then you have the list of other things, good things that you are proud of in your life. one thing you need to do to increase your self-worth, you cannot increase your self-worth without meditation. I'm not talking of meditation like the Eastern Buddhist or something that makes you to leave your body. No, meditating in the sense in Christian meditation is meditating on what God said you are, meditating on the good things that you have. So without meditation, with some people don't even meditate on the Word of God, but the Bible says we make you meditate in it day and night. And some people are just meditating on the wrong part of it. But the best part of meditation you could do is to meditate on this worth, on this dignity, on this thing that God has already said you are. Meditate, ponder upon them, meditate upon, all the scriptures that I mentioned, for example. So without meditation, you cannot have a big enough self-worth. So you have to meditate on this word, and you have to meditate upon the good things you have going for you and the vision that God wants you to do. You meditate on that also. Next point. Apart from meditation, another thing you should do that will really help you increase your self-worth and your opinion above the opinion of others is to visualize. Visualize where you are going. Learn the act of visualization. Learn to dream about where God is taking you, about what God is speaking to you, about what will come. Don't be visualizing about the bad things. Don't be visualizing about the fears. Don't visualize about people's opinion. Visualize about your dreams, about your goal. Visualize about the promise, the vision that God is giving you. Think less about what other people are saying. If you are not visualizing about your dream, about your vision, you will visualize about people's opinion. You will visualize about people's fears. You will visualize about people's concerns. And that will only hold you back. It will not encourage you to go forward. Same thing with meditation. If you not meditate on the word of God for yourself, on the good things in your life, you'll find out that you end up meditating about the bad things that people are saying. Next point. Learn to take pride in your achievements. Make another list of the things that work out for you, of your achievements. Take pride in your achievements. Write down the things that have worked out for you, just like Gideon spoke about today. If you succeed in one little thing, that means you can succeed in even bigger things. Be proud of your achievements. Sometimes we Christians have problem with this because people say, oh, don't be proud or be humble. Don't be proud or be humble. But God doesn't have problem with your pride right now because most of our problem is how to even align ourselves with what God said we are. So be proud of your achievements. Write them down. Remind yourself of them and let them spur you to new achievements, to new heights. The good thing with achievements is that you'll be able to fall back on them. You can, just like with David. If I was able to deal with the bear and I was able to kill the lion, I would do the same thing today. I will be able to do the same thing to this Goliath. Next thing you need to do to help you with your self-worth and self-opinion, so that your opinion will be higher than the opinion of others, is that you must practice saying no. You must begin to practice to say no to all other things that don't line up with your vision, to all other priorities that don't line up with your purpose, to all other propositions that don't fall in line with your agenda. Now, most of us are always saying, we're always afraid of offending people when we say no. The other day, a few days ago, I mentioned about that, how to say no without, feeling guilty. So learn to be civil when you say no to people, but be firm. Learn to be correct, learn to be gentle, to be Gentle, but be firm in your position. Don't just say no by giving people hope that you will still do it. Be firm that you will not do anything that is not in line with your calling, with your priority, you will not do it. Let them know that you love them, but that you will still not do it. Next thing you want to do, you want to bring this attitude of putting yourself priority, putting your opinion as supreme. You want to bring it to every sphere of your life. At work, you want to let them know that you have an opinion, you have a goal, and you are not going to compromise. And you are not going to put your opinion down for the opinion of others. People who win in life are people who respect their opinions. People who win in life are people who honor their opinions above the opinions of others. People who win in life honor their opinion than the opinion of the public. So you need to make sure that this mindset of putting your opinion first does not just affect your family. It has to be a principle that is operational in your home, in relations with your friends, in relations to your workers or co-workers, colleagues, in relation to everywhere in the society. Your priority comes first. Something else that will help you in this is to always declare your position when you get to a new place. When you get to a new place or when you are amidst a new group of people, be quick to declare your position, to make your position known. Let people know upfront what you will not do and what principles you live by. Next point, help yourself by controlling your inner voice. You know, sometimes our inner voice, in our thought, our inner voice, oh, maybe, you feel some guilty thoughts. Oh, maybe it's not right that I did this. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. Or maybe this should have done. Maybe this one should have happened. Maybe, But you need to control those inner voices. You need to control those inner voices and put your inner condemnation and judgment of yourself. Put it also under the power of your priority. Let your priority, be the one that is dictating to you what you are concerned about or not. Now, some of the opinions that really manipulate us the most are our family opinion. So, but you need to talk to your family. Make things known. Draw the line for your family members. Draw the line for them. And let them know what you will tolerate and what you will not tolerate. Next point. When there are no other choice, we all find ourselves in situations when there is no choice. When, you just have to play along. Yes, learn to practice diplomacy in such cases. Learn to practice diplomacy when, maybe people are there or someone that you respect more, or, just play along until you have the slightest moment to jump off the board, to jump the ship. But just for relationships' sake and for honor, respect's sake, you need to learn to play diplomacy. But in your heart, you must still keep to your principle. Do you understand that aspect?
Yeah.
All of us get into such situations. Next one. Being firm on your own opinion and learning to say no doesn't mean that you should take it too far. Sometimes you might need to just do some things as a compromise. Just, sometimes maybe there's a real need. There will be a real need. Sometimes you should Be flexible. Be flexible. So don't be those kind of people that are so harsh and so strong and so rigid that they would never consider, even. Then people will say you have become, legalistic. So don't be too legalistic so that you'll be labeled. But you will still be labeled anyway, but don't, just be human at the same time. Still remain human. You will still continue to set your boundaries, but do it approximately. That's what I mean. Next thing, for you to really to respect your opinion, don't dwell on what other people say for too long. Don't think about what other people say. Think about your purpose. Think about your vision. Think about your direction in life. Don't take things personally. Learn to forgive and forget and let things go and just face your own vision and your purpose. So those who win in life are people that respect their own opinions, that put their own priorities above other people's priorities. Those who win in life are the people that don't just fall by or stop doing what they want to do just because of what people think. Those who win in life are people who know how to pursue their goals and vision to the end. So, to win in life, you must overcome public opinion. To win in life, you must overcome public opinion.